How do those thoughts become the actions that will really make the difference? And how do those actions become the habits that we know are going to lead us further down the road in a healthy marriage? It's a way that we stay connected. It's a way that we communicate with each other. It's a way that we can collaborate and say, what's your schedule look like?
You become better and you're pursuing your dreams, and I encourage you, and I'm right there with you, and I'm growing too, so we're both growing, then our marriage gets better. I think where we come into problems is when one person's growing and the other person just stays stagnant. I think that can become a problem because that's not a mutual commitment to becoming the better version of ourselves.
So, a quick little announcement here before we jump into today's podcast, which I think you're really going to enjoy. We are in the middle of our kickoff for the Cupid Challenge 2024, meaning right now you can sign up for the challenge. That'll be 14 days of some fun, exciting, sometimes romantic things that we'll be sending out to you via email. There'll be a video in there with some instructions and some fun stuff to do. We've done this in the past, and we have had a blast doing it ourselves. We'll be doing it right along with you. So you can sign up right below here, yourmarriagematters.com/CC24. You can see it in the show notes if you're listening to this on audio, or you can go to our Facebook group, Your Marriage Matters, and there'll be a way to sign up there. So let's jump into the content. Again, I think you're going to enjoy this one. Hey there, gang. It's Jim.
And Christy.
Jacobus with Your Marriage Matters, podcast number 175. And, babe, we've been in a series kicking off the first of the year, talking about core beliefs, thoughts, actions, and habits. And we've gone all the way through actions. And this week, we're going to talk about habits. And how do we create positive habits, not negative ones? How do you feel about that?
Or we could eliminate some of the negative habits that we have too. So we could add positive or work to eliminate negative.
Well, when you don't have any negative habits.
I love the book Atomic Habits and got a lot of great information from there about how to set yourself up for success by just little small habits. It doesn't have to be a major life change or anything like that, but just incorporating some small habits can really make a big difference.
Yeah. Well, so last week you talked about negative habits, so I'll do them this week. Okay. How's that sound?
Sounds.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So last week we talked about negative core beliefs that create thoughts that create habits. Negative core beliefs about marriage that could be individual, like I'm not worthy of marriage, I'm not worthy of love, I'm not worthy of somebody caring about me. But we actually focused on the negative thoughts that people have about the institution of marriage, which seems to be way more prevalent nowadays than it's ever been in the past. And, maybe there's some good that people are questioning marriage if out of that they come to the point of how do we do marriage right?
Right.
It's not the institution there's anything wrong with it. It's how people have done marriage. It's a problem.
But one of the things that's still interesting, and I heard this on a financial webinar, not actually on something related to counseling, it has been proven that people who are married tend to live longer than their single counterparts. And here's the reason why. If I have somebody who is mutually invested in me, I tend to say, really, you need to go and have that cough checked out. You really need to make sure you stay up on taking your medicines and all that. And not just because I'm a nurse, but somebody who is, vested in you, in your health from just a total selfish perspective can make an impact. So there are still reasons why marriage is good for society as a whole.
For me, I just want to be around longer because I love being married to you. I love my life. It's good. And that's what we're here for. We want you to have the same thing. We want you to have everything that God intended when you walk down the aisle to say, I do. We want you to have better than we have. And that would be awesome for you guys. But last week we talked about a negative core belief that marriage is a trap. All right. And a lot of people seem to believe that nowadays. And out of that comes thoughts like, I feel suffocated. I can't be my own person. I resent having to be somebody that is committed to another person. And from that comes withdrawal and sabotaging relationships and all kinds of negative things. And then those turn into negative habits like isolation, avoidance of commitment, and just resentment about the other person, about marriage in general. But we also talked about some positive stuff. And so
and one
take it away, Miss Positivity.
One of the things on core beliefs about shared growth, it can lead to helping you think about mutual empowerment. Yeah. Like we both empower each other. No person is better than the sum of both of us together.
Yeah.
Team is more important than us individually. So that mutual empowerment to work on ourselves. I have people all the time say, oh, if I focus or prioritize myself, that's selfish. And I go, no. And a lot of times, if you're taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, that's the strongest thing sometimes you can do. But if I also empower you to do that as well, then you can see how that mutual empowerment can lead to the betterment of the marriage. That doesn't mean that I'm going to say every weekend that I'm going to take some time to just work on myself, because that wouldn't be probably the most healthy thing. But when we both appreciate how important it is to take care of ourselves as an individual, then I think that does help mutually in the shared habits that we have.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people misunderstand that too, because when we talk about shared dreams and shared vision, we don't always have the exact same things. We don't have to be pursuing the same things. Like you love to ride your bike, you love the MS 150, and I've always supported that. You got 2 master's degrees. I supported that, because when you become better and you're pursuing your dreams, and I encourage you, and I'm right there with you, and I'm growing too, so we're both growing up, then our marriage gets better. I think where we come into problems is when one person's growing and the other person just stays stagnant. I think that can become a problem, because that's not a mutual commitment to becoming the better version of ourselves.
Right. And we all go through different challenges and different seasons in our life where that might not be as easy as it sounds, because there are other priorities.
Yeah.
Some of you out in the audience are probably raising children, and you're just trying to put one foot in front of the other in this busy season of life. So that can be helpful. But to just know together we're on the same page.
Yeah, even that I was thinking about the other day, because that is tough. All right, that time of year, that time of life, and we seem to have a lot of couples around us now with kids. Jason and Caitlin, Ross will see Kate with their kids. Seems to be a lot of that. But this whole thing that we're talking about, though, if we really develop this relationship the way we're talking about, it's going to make us better parents. It's going to make us keep the focus there. And even though they take a lot of time, this will still be the priority. And as long as we keep this the priority, then raising those kids is going to be a lot easier.
Right. And which leads me to the next point, which is strength and unity.
Yeah.
If we're working on shared goals together and we're working on things as a couple, there's strength in that.
Yeah.
I have a shoulder to lean on and everything too. And so I think when we're going through seasons, no matter where we are in our lifespan, if we look at it of I've got a partner to help shoulder some of the responsibilities, it can take some of the pressure off me.
Absolutely.
And that is such a blessing. That is such a thing that I want us always to be grateful for, is, to have someone to shoulder the load. The final thing is, as we said last week, celebrating the achievements together. And that doesn't just have to be you and I, that can be family, that can be our extended family, our friends, celebrating those moments in our lives that we said, this is something that matters. Taking the time to be intentional and mindful of those milestones, or those just things that are worthy of celebrating. Taco Tuesday, that's a good day to have a party. I mean, celebrate. But
anything for a party.
There you go. So when we look at shared growth and we think about it, that's some of the thoughts that can come in. And any of these positive thoughts can lead us to actions that will help in the relationship, such as regular check-ins that we've talked about. Those regular check-ins where we give ourselves an opportunity to collaborate, to communicate, to connect with each other. We're going to talk about things that are to-do lists. And like we said, you have to have 30 minutes a day in talking about things that don't deal with the 3 Ps: problems, parenting, or priorities, things off your to-do list.
Okay.
So this can be a way in our check-ins that we don't just go through those, but we also check in to see, how are you emotionally doing? How are we doing as a couple? So those are really important. Collaborative goal settings is another thing that can come out of this. And collaborative goal settings say we work together to either help to strive to meet our own goals or meet our goals as a couple. And I think that's another important core belief that will lead to actions and stuff like that. And then finally, and we talked about this, and I think this is one of the things we've said we want to get better at,
Yes, for sure.
celebrating achievements together. And so I think when you look at that, it's an opportunity for us to grow and to make life more of a celebration.
Yeah.
We have a magnet on our refrigerator that said, life isn't just to be lived, it's to be celebrated. And there are moments in your life that are milestones, birthdays, anniversaries, like we said, but then sometimes you just want to celebrate. It's Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, I think we do a good job of celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't do it. We haven't created a habit of it.
Right.
And so, again, all these core beliefs, thoughts, actions, all of these things, any of these actions that come out of positive core beliefs and positive thoughts, how do you create a habit? All right, that's the key here. So we create a habit by doing it over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. All right, we do it intentionally. We do it on a schedule. That creates a positive habit. For example, one of the things that we taught right at the end of the year last year is our 4 questions habit that we do every year. We ask ourselves, what's working and how do we do more of it? What's not working? How do you get rid of it? What do we do that's new? And what do we do that's big? That is an annual check-in. It's a collaborative goal setting. And we've got tons and tons of benefit out of that. Those are just some of the habits that a habit that's come out of a really positive core belief. But we also have the habit of we go to church together. We have the habit of we pray together. And I know one of your favorite habits is our weekly check-in.
Mm-hmm. Right. So one of the things that we just established a long time ago is the prayer in the morning.
Yeah.
And then going to church. We make going to church.
That's what we do.
A priority and everything. And sometimes the reason why we have to be on the same page about that is it can be very easy to let a habit slip and everything. And especially with online resources and stuff. So.
COVID surely
Yes.
spoiled us about watching church online,
Exactly.
and we had to make sure we got back to it. But again, gang, those are habits of ours. And I will tell you this: that habit of going to church is primarily something that Christy brought to our relationship, and it's been a huge, huge game changer for us. And babe, I know this; we've talked about it before. Even on those days we didn't want to go, that we went anyway. Mm-hmm. We've always left going, I'm so glad we went. I'm
mm-hmm.
so thankful that we went. So,
right.
So what do you do about it, gang? And babe, walk them through our weekly check-in. That we wanted to share this habit with you because it is something we do weekly. It's become a game changer. We started it not that long ago, quite frankly, but
mm-hmm.
It's something that we really believe in. So walk them through what do we do on our weekly check-in. And by the way, gang, it's going to be your homework for this week. All right. So take notes. We will put a downloadable down there in the show notes for you. You can click on it, download it, and it will have you all the steps in our weekly check-in. But babe, walk them through what we do and how we go about doing it.
Well, we do a little pre-planning. It's going to be, we've set it on our calendars for Sunday night at 7:00. We pick the location, which is on our back porch. So
weather permitting.
Weather permitting. And we also kind of check in with ourselves to make sure we're in the right mood for it all. We're not stressed about something else. It's something that we kind of prepare for mentally. We always say, when you're going to have a crucial conversation or a significant conversation, you consider the acronym thou shalt not. And SHOUT stands for stressed, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. People have added drunk and bored. So we check in with that just to make sure we're in the right mindset for that. And that might mean that I take some time to take care of myself before I do. And then what we do is we check in with how we're doing individually, how we're doing it as a couple. Is there anything going on with us? More from an emotional, mental standpoint, but it can be physical as well.
How you feeling if you've been sick? Are you getting better?
Mm-hmm.
Are you starting to get sick? How you doing? What can I do for you? Yeah.
Right. Then we go through some of the practical things like money. Do we have any big bills coming up? What are we doing with, this, that, and the other? So we check in with money and look over things related to that. Then because our schedules are so yours, mine, and ours, we look at schedules and we kind of have conversations about where you're going to be. Since we've worked on sharing the household chores, how are we handling meal prep?
Who's cooking?
And who's cooking?
What days?
And what days? And then any goals for the week, anything that we want to focus on, get back on track on, get our habits aligned on. So we do that. And then finally, we ask, and with asking, how can I be a better partner to you this week? How can I help you? In this weekly check-in, we want to, do a great many things. But at the end of the day, what action can we do that's going to really impact the relationship as well?
Yeah, and gang, so there's a lot of stuff in there that normally could be a difficult conversation for couples, sweetie. Money, what your schedule looked like this week, who's going to do the cooking, it could be any number of other things. That's just in our life. But I like the idea that it makes it easier for a couple that may be struggling in one area or another to say on a weekly basis, we're going to check in. Now, ours is a really positive, collaborative effort between the two of us. And we're really in a good space. If you're in a space where you're struggling with money, don't make that your opportunity to beat your partner up over, how many Amazon packages came in this week, or how many packages are coming in this week. How much have you spent? Let's find a way to make that a positive conversation. And if it is difficult, all right, and it can be, all right, well, let's make it a difficult conversation that has a positive outcome in the sense that you get a chance to really share stuff with each other. So we find this helpful. And again, if you'll get in the habit of doing it every week, it actually goes pretty quick because we're not trying to catch up on a month of how are you doing, a month of the financials, a month of the goals.
Right.
All right, we're checking up on a week. And quite frankly, it causes us to check up with each other during the week, and it allows us to have a lot of communication there. So again, your homework is to do your very first check-in. Set a time. Again, you can download right below here. You can download a PDF that you can use to take notes on. It'll walk you through all of these different areas. And by the way, don't hesitate to add something to the agenda that we don't have on there.
Right.
I mean, if you've got something going on, you've got a career challenge going on, a work challenge going on, don't hesitate to add that on there. Kids, what's the kids' schedule going to be this week? We forgot that.
Right.
Or we're not checking into what are the kids doing this week.
Right. Or there might be something that you want to check in with each other because maybe y'all have a big goal that you're working through. I have couples who do this as they're planning a wedding, and that's a topic that they have to go over. Yeah. So you can create it and make it your own. The most important thing is that you're communicating, connecting, collaborating, and so that can be an awesome opportunity.
Yep. So, gang, that's wrapping it up for the month. We've gone through core beliefs and how important it is to create positive ones, to challenge the negative ones, how those core beliefs create our thoughts create actions, and our actions create habits. And all of that leads to our day-to-day behaviors, and all of that leads up to the character of the people that we are. And again, we want to be the best we can for each other and for our marriage and for our community. We hope that you want to be the same. We appreciate you joining us. We've got a couple of things coming up. First thing is starting right now. I mean, in the next couple of days, we have the Cupid Challenge. That's 14 days of challenges. We're going to send out a short little video. It's going to give you something to do. They'll be fun. They'll be encouraging. They'll be so that we can learn from. Some of them can be a little romantic since it's leading up to Valentine's Day. And so you can sign up right below down here. Okay, point the right direction. You can sign up right below down here to get into the challenge and everything. We want you to be there, and we're going to have fun doing it. And then the other thing is we got coming up here in just a couple of weeks. We have the One Night with Oneness at Grace Point Church in Portland, Texas. If you're in the area or you want to travel to the area, come on down. We're going to be doing a one-night marriage retreat. And babe, that content that we're going to be delivering is really powerful stuff. And again, I wish I could take credit for it. I wish I'd have thought up of it. But we're going to be using some videos from Paul David Tripp they're good. They're solid.
They're outstanding.
And we can't wait to share that with everybody. So again, we appreciate you guys. Remember, your marriage matters. All of you do. We care about you. Your marriage matters to you. It's going to matter to your kids. It's going to matter to your community, your folks, your family, everybody around you. And understand that your marriage matters to us. We're here to do everything we can to help you experience everything you hope for when you walk down the aisle and said, I do. And babe, I am so glad that you said I do to me because I love you. And I am looking forward to the rest of this life we have together.
I love you too.
Bye, gang. Have a good week out there. Take care.